EastEnders reveals surprise new murder suspect in historic mystery. A shock accusation is made. EastEnders has confirmed a surprise new murder suspect as a historic case is revisited next week. Last year, it was revealed that Harry Mitchell was in the frame for his ex-girlfriend Shireen Bashar's disappearance. And he was arrested for her murder. Harry's mum Nicola found out about his arrest and gave her son an alibi for the night Shireen went missing. While Nicola was lying, she gave specific details about the case and was able to get Harry released. But in scenes that will air next week, the case is revisited on the 4-year anniversary of Shireen's disappearance. Harry gets an unexpected visit from Shireen's brother Assad at the Archers but is relieved when Assad says he no longer believes he harmed his sister. Nicola organizes a vigil at Harry's barn for her son to remember Shireen. But she gets a shock when Assad arrives and accuses none other than Teddy Mitchell of Shireen's murder. As Teddy denies Assad's claims, Harry steps in to protect his dad. But back home, he begs him to tell him the truth. Meanwhile, Nicola visits a mystery man called Benji and asks him where Shireen is. What does she know? The next day, Nicola is snubbed by Harry, who is in a bad state, while Teddy meets up with Junior Knight to discuss their new business plans. Nicola is summoned to Walford East by Ravi Gulati, who explains that a dangerous supply of drugs are in circulation. Later, she is caught by Teddy while on the phone to a drug supplier, and she is forced to tell her ex-husband about her dealing. Meanwhile, Harry continues to spiral after the events of the week and makes a show of himself at the Albert. While under the influence, he picks a fight with Felix Baker, and his parents have to drag him home. Back at number 1, Nicola tries to get Teddy to withdraw his support of Junior's business proposal, though just why she is against the plans hasn't been revealed. Later at the boxing den, Teddy tells Sharon Watts he still cares for her, after the drama of the previous week. He then secretly calls Junior and confirms a business deal, deciding to keep this from his ex-wife. What is Teddy hiding, and what do Junior's plans mean for Nicola? EastEnders reveals full details of special Phil episode, and a tragic twist. The episode will see events unfold over 4 weeks. EastEnders has teased details of the upcoming special Phil Mitchell episode. Phil has been in a mental health unit since the night of the Vic explosion, seeking help for his depression and suicidal thoughts. Last week, it was announced that Keith Allen would be making a guest appearance as fellow patient Gaz in a special episode dedicated to Phil Mitchell's mental health journey. The soap has now teased further details on what viewers can expect from the episode and Allen's Gaz. Phil's special episode will cover a 4-week timeline, starting from the day he was admitted to the unit until the present day. Fans will see Phil struggling to settle in and feeling initially reluctant to participate in his therapy and group sessions. This continues for a few days until he meets fellow patient Gaz, and the two form a bond over their shared life experiences, with Phil becoming more receptive to the treatment program as a result. Phil and Gaz's friendship is cut short when support worker Yasmin helps Phil see that he is ready to leave the unit soon and return to his family. Arriving at the present day, Phil listens to voicemails from Sharon Watts and Nigel Bates, before discharging himself. Earlier in the week, ahead of the special episode, viewers will see Phil's family and friends struggling, with Nigel's dementia growing worse and Billy Mitchell attempting to conceal the truth from his and Phil's granddaughter Lexi. The Mitchells have told Lexi that Phil is away visiting his daughter Louise. But as time passes, Honey urges Billy to tell Lexi the truth. Nigel nearly lets slip in front of Lexi, angering Billy. He then later confuses Lexi for his daughter Claire, and at the wrong moment, as Lexi has discovered and read one of the letters Phil wrote on the night he intended to end his life. A distraught Lexi fears her granddad is dead and confronts Billy and Honey. To add to the mess, Honey and Sharon learn that Callum Highway is planning to tell Lexi the truth, and they warn Billy. Billy heads to the cafe and apologizes to both Callum and Lexi. The three of them then head to Phil's mental health unit with Linda Carter and Nigel in tow, with Linda having comforted Nigel that day over his memory struggles. However, when they arrive at the mental health unit, they discover a tragic twist. Phil has already discharged himself. EastEnders legend waved off in exit scenes, but she's not done just yet. Stacey Slater made an exit from EastEnders as her mum Jean Slater waved the grieving mum off on Monday. The beloved character has been struggling after the death of her ex-husband Martin Fowler in the aftermath of the Queen Vic explosion last month. The former couple had an emotional reunion in his final moments, promising to spend the rest of their lives together. Sadly, it was not to be, and since Martin's death, Stacey has sought to protect the truth about her and Martin from his partner Ruby Allen. With preparations for Martin's funeral now underway, Jean has encouraged her daughter to take some time away from the square, suggesting she visit her brother Sean Slater. While initially reluctant, Stacey eventually agreed and made her on-screen departure in the latest episode of the BBC soap as she left in the back of a cab, although we should probably mention that we didn't actually see Stacey in her own exit scenes. Actress Lacey Turner, who plays Stacey, is currently on maternity leave from EastEnders after giving birth to her third child back in January. However, she returned to the soap's set last month to be part of her live episode. When is Stacey leaving EastEnders? Stacey will also be back on screen in the coming weeks, with Lacey having been seen filming emotional scenes for Martin's funeral on location with other cast members. At present, it is unclear how bosses intend to write her character out on a more permanent basis to accommodate the rest of Lacey's maternity leave. Dark threat issued as EastEnders fan favorite is attacked. Sinister Nicola Mitchell issued Zach Hudson with a dark threat in Monday's EastEnders, just moments after she'd had him brutally attacked. Last week, Zach found out that Barney Mitchell is his son, following a fling he had with Nicola years before either of them arrived in Walford. Nicola has been desperate to keep Zach quiet, trying to use her knowledge about his sister Sharon Watt's recent indiscretion with ex-husband Grant Mitchell as leverage. However, Zach threatened to blow both bombshells out into the open during the latest episode of the BBC soap, prompting Nicola to take drastic action. What does Nicola do next in EastEnders? Her first step saw her offer Zach £10,000 to keep her secret about Barney's paternity, but he flatly refused the cash, insisting he wanted to be part of his son's life. Nicola then scrambled to try and leave Walford, booking a family holiday to Spain, but her plans were thwarted when ex-husband Teddy Mitchell, who believes he is Barney's father, refused to accompany her. When word of her escape plan reached Zach, another showdown between him and Nicola ensued. She eventually said she would tell Barney, and told Zach to meet her in the club after closing to discuss further. However, it turned out Nicola had a much darker plan, and after luring Zach to Harry's barn, it emerged she had no intention of telling Barney. As a group of thugs emerged from the shadows, they then brutally beat Zach up as Nicola sat back and watched on, eventually allowing him to escape with his life. She then issued a big threat. "I told you I'd do anything for my family," she said. "If you so much as breathe a word of this or even look in Barney's direction, I promise you it will be the last thing you ever do." But is this really the end of the matter?
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của EastEnders Spoiler TV. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn.